Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today let's do some Christmas card. I did those cards last year Christmas for my friend, and it took me a while to upload those footage. Sorry about the delay. And here you can see the photo reference on the up left corner, and the lightest line actually is just yellow. That's why I just use a yellow wash for the whole body of the script. And should be very light. Watercolor, the principle of using watercolor is always go from light to dark. So try to follow the rule here. And later on, I add a little bit red, or you can use orange directly. If you have Camid orange, you can add that. Or you can just add a little bit red. Any red can do. Camid red, even magenta is good. Just to bump up the value a little bit. And then right now you can see I use the Camid orange directly. Because this size is so small, I think if I see detail I will work on it. So even though the general principle of watercolor is from light to dark, but because of the size, I can actually get away from so many details because the small size of this painting, the size of this painting is 5x7. Sorry about the blur because my hand is too close to the camera, so it messes up my focus point. So you will see my camera is always try to adjust the focus when my hand block the view of the painting. So right now when you see my hand move away from the painting and it become better, that's why. And here you can see I use a Camid red. Here I use partial blue. You can use ultramarine blue, but I don't think I will use cerulean. Even cobalt blue is fine. I mean, you don't need to follow my painting exactly. I did this by from imagination, the color. So you can just use whatever color you want actually. Just be creative. Right now, because I follow the general light and shadow, it's like the shadow is cool, which is blue, and the light is warm light, so it's yellow or red. And that's why you can see I am working on the shadow side. And their lag is tricky, but we simplify a lot. And you can, after I let it dry, I cut out the footage of me using blow dryer because it's pointless to show I use blow dryer here. This stage should be very relaxing because you know exactly what to do. So you see I apply very gently and smoothly. I did pause and think, but I cut out the footage of me thinking what should I do next. Otherwise, I don't know that video how long will it take to finish up. And I let it dry again, and then I start to work on the detail. I think it's number 0 or 1 liner. Those details are very important to begin with because they define the shape of the subject matter. So try not to omit that. Make sure it's dry before you apply those details, otherwise you will bleed all over, which is not what I want. Because right now I don't tend to blend. I just want to define the shadow. I'm drinking smoothie, sorry about that. And you can see it's very thin, the line. I really love doing small painting like that because it's very quick to see the result, and it means a lot for my friend to have because they love such kind of handcraft gift, and it's the best gift, they told me. So I love small size painting like that. I did do big size in the past for acrylic and oil, and I never enjoyed it. It took me forever, I think 20 to 30 hours. But this one, I think each piece only took me 20 minutes to 30 minutes. I did skip the part I sketched out the subject because I did upload the urban sketch I sketched out. It took me forever to sketch out, and I cut out so much footage when I try to correct my drawing. So I don't think it's interesting. That's why I skipped the part I sketched the subject. I did use a bunch of photo reference from online, and then I assemble it so they don't use just one photo reference, multiple photo reference. Just be creative. There are times I even draw from imagination, like the people in some of my urban sketch. Most time I just draw from my imagination because it's so hard to find a photo reference, the right gesture, the right movement I need, so I just made that up. Here I made up the color because I don't think people love realism. Realism is like photo, just like taking a photo and nothing about so creativity. So in the past I was so addicted to do photo hyper realism art. After a while I feel like that look like a photo, and that is one of my clients told me, hey, say your painting look like a photo. Actually that hit me hard because what's the point of creating painting if my painting look like a photo? I can just take a photo. Nothing about creativity, nothing about my creativity. So I tried so hard to change my style. And here, when you apply the color, try to use the water brush, like no paint, just water brush to blend the edge, to soften the edge. This part is very important, so you can soften the edge and blend beautifully. And you can see I use red on top of the blue on the leg part, so they appear a little bit purplish. Those details are like icing on the cake, shouldn't be hard, it should come in handy if you know what you are doing, and it took some training, but I think with practice you will get there, so don't get stressed out of why I do what I'm doing right now. And this is kind of detail I see the photo reference, they have like, I don't know, it's the suction thing on their leg, and it creeped me out, to be honest. I don't want to put that on, but I feel like it's like I called it organ for the script. I don't think I can get away from that. So later on you will see me add more suction thing on their leg. Make sure you let it dry before you apply. They are so easy. You can see I don't use a liner, solely pressure brew. If you hear some noise in the background, it's my laundry machine. Sorry about that. I'm doing laundry. The reason why I do this subject matter to my friend, because he told me his spirit animal is squid, which is weird for me, but I respect. I said, okay, I will see what I can do. That's why I do script. Otherwise, it never occurred to me I need to do this subject. Here you can see I am still working on the detail of the leg. Those actually it's boring for me, but because I was listening to the music or podcast, so it's less boring. But I shouldn't say boring. It's like relaxing because I know what I'm doing, and I can come together quickly. So that's why I love small painting like that. So many details I can omit, but still overall look good. That's the beauty of doing small size. And right now I'm thinking, I think I need to apply one last layer to bump up the color vibrancy. So that's why I go to town for the color you can see here. Any chance I can get color, vibrant color, I must do it. That is kind of my style right now. And you can see I use a water brush just to soften the edge. I try to emphasize the shadow of the leg. That's why you can see I try to work on some more detail for the leg. As you know, I emphasize the watercolor principle is go from light to dark. That's why you can see this painting almost come to an end. So I try to emphasize or working on the darkest dark. Also, you can refine the detail if you see you are mixing any detail, but with the size of the painting, even though you omit some detail, nobody notice that. Then it's all about how to bump up the chroma or the color. So it's not like the same value or the dull color. Sorry, my hand is on top, is underneath the camera directly. That's why the focus point got messed up. Even the yellow, I try to bump up the yellow too. Because it's too subtle, the yellow, I feel like I need to redo the yellow, that's why. Alright, I think that looks so good already, right? But you know, painting or drawing is kind of hard to know when to stop. Watercolor especially, you can overwork a piece easily because it's so flat and transparent. It's not like opaque like acrylic and oil, so you won't let you work on that forever. At some point you have to stop, otherwise you go too dark. Those are all final touch. Okay, the next one is a kangaroo baby. That's also for my friend, and her spirit animal is kangaroo. I try to Google kangaroo and then I see the photo. Most kangaroo, they are so freaking strong, like very muscular, I should say. It's like a man. They are not adorable. It's the opposite of adorable. So I say, well, if the adult is like that, I want to do baby. So I Google the kangaroo baby, and then some photo pop up, and then I add a Christmas hat on top of that. That's why you see the drawing is like that. For color, I think kangaroo baby color is yellow ochre and umber. They are just so dull, it's just not vibrant at all. So I've tried to change to orange. So you are artists, be creative. That's why I do this color. The first layer is always light, but try not to lose the white part. You can see I leave some area where I did not paint at all. Those areas need to be carefully drawn, otherwise it can be easily paint over. I'm drinking smoothie, sorry about that. The second layer, I go directly to almost the darkest stuff. Because even though it's shadow side, I feel like there's so little of blue, and I don't want to mix blue and orange, it will become brown. So I try to avoid that. That's why I use cabin yellow directly. But you can add some more water to dilute. This you can see right now the color dilute a little bit because I use water brush. It's a bit pale. I don't want to complicate this one. The reason later I use green is the color contrast. I want to create drama. What's the opposite color of red or orange? I think it's green, right? The opposite color of red, yeah, it's green. Also, it's Christmas color. That's why I use green. Very Christmassy. There are small pockets actually, but I feel like as the baby, I don't think the pocket should be so obvious. I only suggest that there's some shadow for the pocket, but for the adult, the pocket is very substantial. But right now, because it's the baby, I don't think I need to do that. And for the hat, I try to use a red wash just to do the basic color of the Christmas hat. The second layer of the hat is just used Camlet red directly with a little bit red. As long as it is stronger than the wash, you should be fine. Because of the small size, I don't think I need to do the third layer, but we will see. I think I will do the third layer later, but I forgot. Right now, I try to do the second layer of the hat. As you can see from the final painting, the second layer, the value is way stronger, the color is more intense. So try to just use more paint, less water. You don't need to add any other color, just the Camlet red. And here I use a very light orange because I don't have a wash only here. So right now I try to fix it. I think small size have its charm because I don't need to plan so far ahead. If I mix something, I can always fix it easily, as opposed to a bigger size where I have to plan ahead dramatically. So I love small size. Right now I'm still doing the first layer of this painting, and you can see I just use a sad green. I think this is sad green. You can use any green. Color match is not my thing. Value is my thing, so you can use any color you want. Sometimes I don't even want to mix color. If I see green, I do green. I don't want to mix the crow white green and crow. And right now I try to use a back on back technique, try to put down the second layer directly. You can do that when you want subject, like only subject. You can see the back is just a decoration, it's not focus point. So I want it to be loose. I don't want people to focus on that. I use green because it's Christmas season. Christmas combo is always about red and green. That's why. Right now I use back on that technique, and you can see in the past I get so nervous when I try to use back on that, but right now, as after I pay so much watercolor, I kind of get a hint of how to control them or let it flow. I think watercolor or gouache, the tricky thing is to relinquish the control of them, to let it flow. So to take advantage of their wild card, what should I say? So the uncontrolled factor of watercolor actually can be taken advantage of your painting, so you can do some really beautiful blending. I use liner, I think it's number 0 or 1. The color, I think I just add a little bit red and burnt sienna. The red can be magenta from what I see. I try to fill my palette, but I used the old setup because it was last year Christmas, so my camera is not as good. so I have to do it dramatically, resulting in the sacrifice of not be able to show my palette. If I show my palette, I had to move the camera so far back, and the painting won't be that focused, won't be that crystal clear. How that makes sense? And when I'm doing the eye, you can see the first layer is always light, because I know exactly what I am doing, so I'm very relaxing. Painting is like that. That's why they say art can be a therapy. It can calm you down as long as you know what to do. But my teacher told me, if you know what to do for a painting, you won't pay. If you know what it means, you'll be a master. Because as artists, you always want to try new things, try to experiment. If you want to do a painting and where you know exactly what to do, you don't even want to try it because there's no excitement, no fresh idea, no waha moment. So that's why she say what she say. But this is for gift card, you know. I don't want to stress myself to do something new, so I think it's okay. But if it's not for a gift or even a commission, just a practice, I definitely try something new. And then I fail, I get frustrated. That's the life of being an artist, I guess. And right now I try to use pressure blue. You can see the pigment is really strong. I just use a little bit water because this is darkest dark. I want value, as I told you before. I definitely use number 0 liner to do that due to the small size of the painting. When you do eye, don't get too stressed. I know it's the most important area you need to focus, but sometimes it's the opposite effect. The more you focus, the likely you get messed up. So try to relax a little bit when you do that brush stroke. As you can see here, the valley becomes darker and darker due to the certain layer. Your certain layer always try to refine the detail to see if you mix anything from the first layer. If you do not put down the first wash, you can just fix it. As you can see here, the painting come together pretty quickly after the certain layer. This have some shadow from the head, that's what I try to define. And I need to do some shadow of the ear. People may blend the edge, try to soften the edge. Sometimes I did soften, most time I leave it like that because I want to show the brush stroke. It's just your style. It depends on what style you want. Some people overblend everything out of insecurity, I guess, because they don't know what to do. so they always blend to the death. I did it all the time in the past, but right now I try to show my brush stroke. I think it's good. It shows you have confidence. Again, you need to try both to see which one fit you better. And you can see here, I put on the third layer, so the pigment is stronger than the second layer and more vibrant. I love color vibrancy, as I told you before. That's my style right now. The reason is I don't want to dull the color down, and the second reason I love color vibrancy is I'm too lazy to mix color. Yeah, that's more of a reason why I love color vibrancy. And I mean, why not? There are so many artists doing realism. I don't need to be one of them. I guess. I think the more you paint, the more value subtlety you can do. Sometimes a little bit value difference show a big discrepancy. I never know I can do watercolor. When I learned acrylic in the past, because acrylic can control better, it's not like you will bleed, you will just like, you don't need to wash. You just have more control. And when I do watercolor, the transition is too just like huge. I couldn't get used to it. I got so frustrated. And then I try to do urban sketch, because urban sketch is all about wash, no detail, but your line work, your ink, your micro pen can make other detail watercolor mixing. So I start to do watercolor, and as I do more, I realize that I don't think I need pen or ink mark to make up the detail. And as time goes by, I can do both right now. I can do either watercolor without ink pen and watercolor with ink pen. But for those GIF, I don't think I need to use ink. Of course, you can use ink. It's your choice. Here is so much more detail for the nose. Does it look like kangaroo baby? I don't know. You look like a rabbit? I mean, you can make it look like whatever, but I feel like that is a kangaroo baby, so that is kangaroo baby. I like the hat the most, actually. Before I did that, I already knew the hat can be focus point besides the eye and the nose, because when you do portrait, you always focus on the eye and the nose, but sometimes it's the subject surround the eye and the nose. In this case, I think it's the hat, because it's just too red. The color vibrancy still the center of the eye and the nose. Even though I made the eye the darkest dark still. Here I do the third layer of the value for the year. I think I'm almost done for this one. Right now everything is try to make the darkest dark for in the subject, like the head. I put down some strong brush stroke. And you can see the value different is very subtle, but that's what makes it so good. Don't omit those kind of detail, especially your final layer. The hard part for watercolor is to know when to stop. You don't want to overwork your piece. So if you get frustrated, you don't know what to do, set aside and come back next day with fresh eye. That helped me a lot. I don't think I need to do the detail of the hand because they are too tiny and I only want to suggest. So I put down some brush mark just to indicate there is something there. Okay, let's start another one. This is the last one. And it's a dog. It's Vinny. His name's Vinny. And it's Taylor's dog. And she rescued him, I think, last year. And it's very cute. And right now you can see I put down some drawing, of course, and the first layer always a light layer or wash. Right now I try to clean up because I feel like my pencil mark is too strong, so I try to get rid of some pencil mark. That's why I was using eraser. So right now I continue to do the brush work. I think the fur is tricky. I think the tricky thing is don't do hair individually, do it by area, like big chunk of area. I think they make more sense because from the get-go, if you do individual hair, you can it will look so bad because the watercolor, the first layer, if you try to do texture, you won't show the texture, you only show the messy result. Because I tried to nail that before and I failed. Maybe you can succeed, but I failed before. So right now I try to when I try to do fur or animal hair, I try to look at it as a big area individually, so that way I won't get so frustrated. And you can see here right now I do the second layer, so the value is darker. So I try to gradually showcase the facial expression and some hair detail. Your brush stroke direction should always follow the direction of the hair, unless it's messy hair, so it can be all directions. But right now, as you can see here, if the hair go down, my brush will go down. And you can see here, for some area, I already put down the darkest dark because I want to look good already. Due to the small size, I think I can do that. And here, because the animal fur already covered the second eye, so I don't need to be worried about doing second eye. But the right eye is already there. You can see. You can see my pencil mark. It's light, but you can see the eye. Only one eye. Of course, the darkest dark is no. The focus point is his eye and the nose. Maybe the ear too, and that's it. His body is just it's not the green. It's not the flower. It's the green leaf. So it's the eye magnet. You can only suggest that. So don't overwhelm yourself by doing detail all over. Because most likely your audience does not care. Your audience don't care. And Taylor loved it when she see this painting and she fade the painting immediately the next day. I really appreciate. I think the motivation to keep me going is the recognition of my talent or my hard work, I should say hard work better because I practice a lot. I think talent can only let you go that far. After talent, you have to practice a lot to take advantage of the talent. People always say, "Wow, you are so talented," but if you don't practice or use talent, people working so hard will beat you. Even people with less talent, if they work hard, they can easily compete with you. So try to work hard. And when people say that, I say I really draw almost daily. I won't say I paint daily because the setup, but I draw daily. I have sketchbook. Consistency does not matter actually. I mean, you can take a break if you are like overconsumption or overwhelmed. But most time I really draw almost daily. So I really appreciate people love my painting or my drawing. Even a lot, it motivates me to do more. If I do animal nowadays, it's only for the conviction of a gift to my friend, because it's just so much worth of doing animal. I even trace the drawing to nail the likeness or use script method, and you can see, go to my YouTube channel, you will see I use script method to nail the likeness. It's very handy. You can trace it, of course. Trace is the easier method to nail the drawing. But for watercolor and oil and acrylic, the painting part actually is way harder than drawing. So I still believe if you want to nail the painting, especially not like abstract, more like representative, is that what you call? You need to nail your drawing first, otherwise your painting will get so frustrating. If you paint as you draw, I think you will spend more time draw than paint. Hope that makes sense. So when I learn oil painting, I always draw first, just put down some big shade and make something look like drawing first before I put down more color or value. That will be easier. And right now I'm doing the second layer, so the value is a bit stronger. The eye is very important, but you can see here the value is not too dark, but I will try to fix it later because I'm not here yet. I do let it dry actually, hopefully it won't bleed. The value subtlety on the eye is very critical. A little bit different, a little bit brush stroke around the eye can make a big difference. So be mindful of that. I got so stressed out before, but right now, because I did a lot, so I got used to the stress, I guess, so I can nail it. But you just need to practice more. If you still feel like you don't do good enough, just practice, and you only get better. It's like riding a bicycle. You feel like if you don't practice, your painting skill or drawing skill will go bad or get worse, but it's not. It's like picking up a bicycle. Once you know how to ride a bicycle, you won't forget. So after 10 years without riding bicycle, you ride it, you continue, you are this good. Like from 1 to 10, if you're drawing start and 5 or 4, after 10 years, you still can pick up from 5 to 4 instead of 1 and 2. How that makes sense? So you only get better if you continue to practice. That's my whole point. And right now I try to do more texture on his body, but I don't think I need to make so much effort, because people will only focus on his eye and nose and even the ear. I just want a little bit value here and there to let people know what is going on, and that's pretty much what it is. When you do watercolor, you can do well that, but try to wait different time, like the intensity of the vat actually matter. Like if you let it so wet, when you put down the second layer, you will be a hot mess. But if you wait a little bit longer, like let the most paint or water evaporate, the bleeding effect will be so beautiful. And if you wait even longer, you can see some soft edge, only soft edge. So the difference of the dryness of the layer actually matters a lot in watercolor painting. So the waiting time matters. When I use a blow dryer, sometimes I just want to let it dry completely so I can do the detail or texture without worry about the soft edge or wet bleeding effect. But if I try to blend, I will not use blow dryer. I will wait a little bit until it only evaporate a little bit, so I can take advantage of the wet technique. And that is deep, and it took so much practice to know the watercolor personality, I call it. It's wild. In oil and acrylic, it's not like that at all, because acrylic it dries so fast. You can blend, but you need to use media. And right now you can see I try to do more detail, refine the detail, but I think the node need more value. It's not dark enough. I need to put down more darker area, as you can see here. That's what I'm going to do. Also, I have to fix the eye because it's already so dry, so I can showcase the detail or texture of the eye. I think that's good enough, right? It's so easy when you practice a lot, when you know watercolor. It can be so easy and handy, but the beginning process of learning curve, watercolor can be so messy. Right now it's the final layer, so you can see I put down the value stronger and stronger to refine the detail and see what I'm mixing to make it look better. This stage I can get a bit nervous, because if I mess up, like I put the value too dark, it's so hard to lift the color. So just to be mindful of that. The beginning of the painting process, I can be relaxed, but as the layer goes, I get nervous because it gets serious. If it doesn't look good in the final layer, you fail this painting. Because watercolor is so hard to use another layer to cover your mistake. It's not like acrylic or oil, which is very opaque. the transparency of watercolor won't let you do that. It's very fragile. So in the past, if I mess up, I always try to use acrylic to paint over watercolor to cover my mistake. But I haven't done that for a while. But just let you know, there are times when you get frustrated. Don't give up. You only get better, as I told you. I let this painting almost come to an end. Right now it's all up to me if I want to start or not. I think it already looked good enough. But when you get sucked into the detail, you just cannot stop. You can see, I want to suggest more hair, more fur on the body. But it makes so little difference. That's why you need to know when to stop. If you get frustrated, just set aside, come back and re-evaluate with a fresh eye. I hope everyone enjoyed watching my video, and I really appreciate you stay to this point. I think it's a little bit boring, but if you play along with me, it can be so fun. I will try to do more live stream in the future. I hope you stick to my channel or subscribe. I will see you in the next live stream. And I hope everyone have a great weekend ahead, and enjoy your summer, of course. If you see that in other season, enjoy your winter or fall or spring. Thank you for the watching, everyone.